Oh, finally.
Top 5K. Look at
Finally,
that.
Nikki. 4649. Little
It's only taken
1033 bird.
24 weeks, 25 weeks, whatever the hell we're up to.
Oh, crazy times. Um, this is a Supercoach podcast, isn't it?
I have no idea, but sure, let's do that. Let's talk about that.
Oh, he looks good there. Looks good with the reserve tag on
Mhm.
him. Not in my team. It made a 98 for you for Scotty. I suppose it's all that hard work holding him through all the bad ones. You get one back, right? What's his average now
Yeah,
with you holding him? What do you reckon?
I don't know, 42 or something, maybe. Uh, no, he's probably up to about a 50 average, maybe, in the period. That is something I'm definitely going to do that when I get round to it in terms of the review, doing your review and looking at what, because one of the biggest mistakes I made, I think, was getting Drinky when he was 730, 750, something like that. He was really, really expensive at the point that I got him. And now you look at his price and go, wow, I would have loved to get him for 550 and get 100 off him.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah, like I mean, this is why you hold guys like that. And you see him sitting next to Mark on my bench. It's like they have that same kind of massive range of scores of it can be a disaster or it can go huge. And yeah, you just need to hope you get a couple of big ones in a row with these guys.
yeah, well, he's got the buy in the last round. So look, anyone that plays the Knights, they didn't look too great, did they? Although I think Mitch was saying that it's Payne Haas next week against the Knights, so we'll probably continue sticking
Yeah,
the captaincy on him next week.
he can keep the captaincy.
Mate, you would have enjoyed the Nico Hines show as well, 73 in your ball.
It's again, it was one of those of when you see him score a couple of tries, it's like, oh, is he in for one of those big major scores? And
Mm.
it's good. It's not the old Nico. Like the old Nico would have been 120
That's a ton.
with that type of attack and output. But yeah, and it was. I mean, they weren't high scoring tries as well, but it's still nice compared to some of the other scorers in there.
Yeah. Hopgood came in for you this week, is that right?
Yeah, so that was my trade. Who did I sell? Hosking.
Yeah.
Hosking at Hopgood.
And two left?
I could have two left. Yeah, yeah. I could have gone basically anyone. It was going to be Carrigan for most of the week, but then I thought I'll go a little poddy, save myself some money. Um, I've got a bit in the bank now, so next week I could like one of the other options if things didn't play out the way they did was I could have traded a De Silva to Ben Hunt, something like that. Just beef
Okay.
up the end of the bench, just because at some point I'm going to have to play a couple of those guys and it's not going to go well. So I think I'd go a bit poddy. I also wanted a bit because with selling Hoskin, I didn't have any other edge cover other than uh
Yeah, okay.
big Bowie sitting in the centers. So I thought just again, if we're going to have a few injuries, outs, restings, just having that bit of extra um dual position coverage to be able to move people around just in case we get really stuck would probably be useful. And there's also that little tiny like worry in the back of my head that if the Broncos do end up being able to rest people and they rest both Haas and Carrigan in the same game,
Mm.
that could be a real disaster if that happens. So we ended up on Hopgood and didn't. I mean, there was maybe 9 points in it or something like that, I think, with Carrigan. So it was fine. I thought he might have been on with a big one. The minutes were looking great, and then he got taken off after 50 minutes and didn't come back on, essentially. Got maybe five at the end.
Yeah.
Not great, but yeah, it's fine.
Well,
It's
it's good he
fine.
has that chance like the week before, the
Mm.
65 minutes and back to that good
Mm.
PPM who's sort of back down that point 0.8 where he has been. But mate, for me, I think I've got Ford out and then Garrick. Still can't believe this Ford one. I don't get how you can not be penalised and not even I don't even know when they put him on report. I watched it for another 10 minutes and they still didn't
Mm.
put him on report. And
I've often wondered what the
yeah.
point of that is. And because I've seen this happen before, that people who aren't even put on report, if they're still, if the foul play is still there, they can still get pulled up afterwards and still get the suspension. So what's even the point of making the refs do that? Just
Oh, so they can do it
everybody
after
just
game.
needs. I'm sure I've heard it before because I've had this conversation with somebody of like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah,
why
well,
are
that's
they
true.
doing it during the game if they can pull it back later on?
Yeah.
So like, why bother? Like, just say, okay, we're just going to use the tape and then go with it. So maybe I'm getting that wrong historically, but I do remember talking about this
Yeah,
before
because they're saying
and just like, why? Like, why are you doing it? Yeah.
yeah, it was the crusher in the 23rd minute, and the people kept
Mm,
saying that to me. I was like, yeah, like I saw it like happen, and they like signaled to the ref that he did it, but they just played on. So yeah, and then there was no report. So it must have been
mm,
an after the game thing, unless someone can pinpoint when it actually happened. But yeah, weird one there, and then Garrick as well. So like, what I'm getting at is Hopgood and Walsh and these types of guys are in my wheelhouse, given you know who I'd be selling like forwards just a
mm.
tick over 600K kind of thing. So yeah, there's a few interesting guys in that bracket, but that ladder you're talking about, mate, Broncos and Sharks both sitting there on 30. Do you think it's more of a if they can like lock up a fifth or sixth kind of home final or lock up fourth somehow? Is that kind of where you were, or just a slight worry in general about the Carrigan
Yeah.
Haas thing?
Yeah. Like if the Broncos have set locked up in the last week, say, just as an example,
Mm,
like, they might as well. If
yeah,
they're playing to stay in sixth because they want the home final, then it's probably unlikely. But if things work out in a way where if they're locked in sixth or if they're locked in seventh, there's that chance of it happening. I think I was looking at your little spreadsheet that you had. I think you
mm,
had the Broncos for a 20% chance or something like with for
yeah,
resting, which probably sounds about right. They're probably having something to play for, even if it's just that home sixth versus seventh having the home final. But is that worth taking that gamble of having two of your mids out and not being able to cover? And like is yeah, Harrigan might. I mean, if Hopkins had got that 60, 65 minutes again, they probably end up scoring the same and
yeah. That's fine.
at a cheaper price. And yeah, you're spreading that risk around. Like, there's no point in the Eels resting anybody. They're just going to play the year out. So
Yeah, no, definitely. Mate, you heading into next week, you got a few guys that you're sweating on. Isaiah Yeo being one of them. Thank goodness King Tongi has turned into an absolute gun because he's going to be
yeah.
utilizing that 17 every week, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's gone. So I think he's gone from my 19th, 20th to maybe my 13th, 14th guy now.
Well, he's ahead
He's
of
uh
Galvin,
he's oh yeah, definitely now. Galvin, Mark, he's jumping up over
Healy,
those guys. It's
Silva,
yeah.
Yo. Yeah, so there's what, five? Yeah, it'd be five behind him. So there you go. Oh, the way he's scoring, there's more, but
Yeah,
yeah, he's very,
50
very important.
average. Perfect.
So if you don't
And I've
have,
got no Hines next week as well, so he'll be
yeah,
probably be straight into the starting lineup.
exactly. If you don't have Yo next week as well, how are you looking to play this week? Try and make a trade?
Yeah, probably. I've been like I've had with him out and the buys. So I had May out last week, Tapani out this week. So I've just been kind of hovering to fill. That was, I had to bring in a mid this week
Mm.
to um to fill that gap. So at least now, if I do end up having to make a trade, I can kind of fill my team out and then work out and bring whoever I want in. I do kind of like the idea of getting rid of one of those dud cheapies to someone like Ben Hunt, depending on what his price is at after this week. Um,
Yeah, what's he for? 430 or
he
something,
was
wasn't he?
four. He was 440, I think, this week. So he might go up a little bit. Yeah, 449.
Decent break even. Yeah. He's an interesting prospect, isn't he?
Mm.
Three
Yeah,
try
like if he takes,
assists.
yeah, and it was
Newcastle. Oh,
a bit
Cowboys.
yeah, like a bit overinflated with those try assists, but pretty safe. And again, like he's probably not going to come in hopefully as a starter for most weeks, but somebody you can loop or somebody in the last, if he's, becomes my 19th, 20th guy over a Talon de Silva, Talon de Silva and this lot. And oh yeah, like Wishart's, another option.
That's what I'm looking at,
Um,
personally.
yeah,
God, he's going
yeah,
to go up like 70K. Him
yeah,
and
he's
Hunt
going
will
to
be the
drop a lot.
same, probably the
Mm,
same price.
yeah. So you can kind of make your choices between those two. I mean, Wishart, even if the Storm rests people, you think he'd probably play anyway.
Yeah,
He
you'd think
also
so.
came he came off in the game, didn't he? Did he? Did I make that up?
Not in last time, but the week before he did, yeah.
Yeah, that was
When they
right.
had
Yeah. So
Pez
that
on the
kind of made
bench.
Yeah, so that made me a little bit worried because he came back, and I think he only came back on for an injury and played in the centers and ended up getting that try assist or not try assist,
Oh,
um,
the try saver.
try saver, yeah, try
Mm.
saver turnover tackle. Um, but yeah, if that was going to be the worry that he does end up not playing the full game out, or moves into the middle or something and then gets a rest, it was a bit weird. It's one of those you don't expect the guys to come off, so that made me a little bit worried. But then when they moved Pezzett into the starting lineup and Munster at fullback, probably locked them in. But are they going to keep it like that?
Well, yeah, Pappy
Probably a bit doubtful. So yeah.
probably returns, doesn't he? And they'll
Mm.
change that up.
So yeah,
Drinky,
yeah.
drinky, drinky, drinky.
What a guy. Back on the goals as well. That was nice.
Yeah, well, when Labour was
Mm.
benched, I didn't realize that. I was like, ah, damn it. But
Mhm.
yeah, an incredible game from him and pushed himself back up to just under a 50 average for the year, which is pretty impressive in that one. You get a couple of weeks out of him before that bye. So yeah, he's still a guy that you could take a flyer on. You'd be what, for 580-ish, so under 600k. I think Walsh is going to be well above that. So yeah, either of those guys, as you can tell, have the clear upside there. Dearden back to some good scoring. KPP with the dirty offload at the end, and then offload off the ground, which should have been a penalty.
Yep.
That was fun viewing. Not tough day, tough day. Uh,
Come on, you're a Cowboys fan. You should have been loving this,
yeah,
Not
yeah,
not,
yeah.
not
But
let your fantasy scores get in the way of a good hiding.
well, they always do. But Cowboys are basically last, so it doesn't matter. They defended okay. Not that the Knights threw too much at them. Now, Kai, I still think is a pretty easy buy next week as well. Like he'll be somewhere in the mid 50s pretty regularly, similar to like what Carrigan is, but no resting worry like you're talking about there. Purdue with a 43, good on him. And the Brayley one was the interesting one. So Matty Arthur moved to the bench now, and not having Cross on there, kind of, I think he was like the safety guy to have even at 13. That if Brayley went down, they could just move him straight in. Hey, and now they've actually got the nine. This will probably be norm for Jaden, and like it's not the worst role, right? About a 40, but yeah, not that massive scoring that you saw in the previous week. So
Yeah, like if he's if you've got him and he's an end of your bench guy, you can come in and fill a spot if you need, but yeah, you're not really excited about him anymore.
McEwen's going to be probably a similar thing. He had a few too many negatives in this one.
Mm.
He's 35, but yeah, we'll do a job if needed. What about Greg the leg mate? He doesn't look the same human, does he? Are we going to
Yeah,
buy him next year?
what happened to the, 5 offloads a game and everything he was giving us at the start of the year? But it's going to be he'll be about the same price. This is where he
Yeah,
started, roughly, yeah. So,
five
and I
figures.
think if the Knights, I mean the Knights are not, and it's the same with old mate Bradman down there as well. They're just not got anything going in attack. And if they come back next year
Awful.
and Pong is flying and Sharp's fit and they maybe sort things out a little bit, then they they could be great options again. But at
Yeah.
the moment, it's just a bit dead. The whole attack's dead.
And then poor Gagai owners, they get shafted. He gets moved out of fullback and back out to centre, and he's got to cop the missed tackles from some of those legends out there. But yeah, just a tough own, and hopefully he can play a little bit better against the Broncos. At least that'll be somewhat of a fun clash for him against some of the guys he plays Origin with. Hey, so there's that. All right, what have I missed here? The Manly boys. So yeah, my poor boy Garrick. I think he's going to be Gornski's now. I ended up playing him over both Fermor, and I was looking pretty good early. A little 17 in 20 minutes before he
Yeah.
destroyed his shoulder. So tough news from there. We'll go from
Yeah.
bottom to top in this one.
What about Rel right at the bottom? Old
Oh,
Latu. What's happened
53
there?
minutes.
How can you
Oh,
make 21 tackles and score no points?
that's right.
That's insane.
I don't think I've ever
That
seen that.
is insane.
I've never seen that. I saw he got zero, and I was like, he must have played like 25 minutes. But 53, holy moly. He was a good buy until he wasn't. Hey, that 60
Yeah,
that 60
that's
feels like 3 years ago.
yeah. And even before he got into he got into the halves, that 53 minutes in the middle was really good for a few weeks.
True, 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 true. He was
Like he
like
was
30
getting
to 40.
30s. Yeah, he was getting 30s, 40s and was fine again, would have been fine. This role would be fine, but yeah, I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, tough, tough times. Yeah, it's not even like he's an extra player for us. It's like he's a non-player at the moment. I think that's back-to-back zeros too. So, shocker.
He'd have a
Uh,
three. I think he had a three,
oh, was
but
it
yeah.
three? That's right. That's right. Toa, 32 for him. Came off with an injury. The poor fella. He does love one of those, and hopefully he's all good. I don't think he's owned by many anymore. Tavanga, still probably owned by a couple, 39 for him. Good minutes. And then Tommy Turbo has actually been listed as 43 on the app right now, so not sure what's changed there, but he just doesn't look himself. Do you agree? The
Yeah.
team
I mean,
doesn't,
this was a
clearly,
game.
but
Yeah. This was a game we're watching. I thought he'd be on a lot less. So you look at the score afterward and go, oh yeah, I'll take that. I'll take a
mm,
40 based on, yeah, he
the
just was
team and
throwing
everything.
nothing. Yeah. I got a lot of, the 8 tackle busts, but a lot of them felt kind of, the little cheap ones where he's just fielding a kick and somebody runs past and
Yeah, a little
couple of
knockoff.
couple of
Yeah.
kind of things offload. But yeah, like a 40 in a game where they showed absolutely nothing in attack and had neg 12 as well. That's
Mm.
like, yeah, I was happy with that. I was happy with
Yeah,
that when I
I
saw it.
agree. I had no problems, especially having five misses. You don't really see that too much, but you can also see he wasn't trying too hard on those misses either. But I think the best scorer for them was actually Burbo with a 51. So shout out to Matty T on that one. 46 for DCE. I think he was pretty low for a while there and did pick it up for Mitchy boy. And then the captainers, the old Terrell May in the bin. Hey, I was going to go for him every week. Thankfully, did change this one with the thoughts of how nice that clash in Brisbane was going to be for Payne. But comparing the two, mate, we probably can't pick against Payne right now. He looks awesome.
Yeah, I think what May has. We kind of was hoping that he'd, with the week off, would come back a bit more kind of energized. Like he doesn't look
Mm,
as damaging as he did at the start of the year. And if he's not playing 80 minutes, that was the big appeal, him over Haas, that would be that, well, he'll get 80 minutes, so he'll grind out more,
mm.
even if he's not doing quite as much. But yeah, it's just probably probably between Haas and Cleary for captaincy for the rest of the year, I would say.
Yeah.
Unless you want to take a mega pod punt on someone else, but yeah, I don't think you can
Drinky.
really go more. Donkey line, the show goes to show, right? Can happen. Can happen.
Over the years, you've seen the random Drinky captain. Goodness. Yeah, Terrell, really just the tackles weren't there as much, and then he had neg 11, which we don't see too much from him. Twiley boy up there doing his thing. Adam Dewey, what an incredible start to this game. Slowed down the second
Yeah.
half. He was also defending out at centre, I believe, when Stafford went off. Seemed to be
Yeah, he
playing
was.
half still, but like in attack, but not in defence. So just slowed down.
Yeah, see, as I'm not an owner, but it was kind of the same as with Turbo. When I looked and went, oh, I'm quite surprised at how high he was. Dewey was one as a non-owner where I looked and went, oh, I'm quite surprised he's only sitting around 60 where he started off started off so well. I thought, oh, this is a 70, 80 plus easy here. So
Mm.
for him to only get 60 as a non-owner is pretty good.
It was near, I think it was near like 49 at half time, which was pretty good. All right, Dallas Duncan, he loved to try. Man, he loved to try. Same with Lomax, but yeah, I think there's still a few holding on to Tallis. So yeah, it's a crazy turn of events. I think it was like 15 at half time too. So just reminded me of the New Zealand meetup all over again. I think he got the what a game he got 90 odd. I was watching that and I was like, how did I not pick him? Uh, yeah, there's a few decent scores in here. What about Yongi? Just returning from the clouds. I didn't expect that. Hey, straight to
Yeah,
fullback, Joash to six, and Joash making like 30 tackles or something. That was crazy. 30 for no misses. That was impressive.
that's good. Yeah, that's good.
You know, you take that if he was I'd say a fair few people maybe it was like had 18 players and Watson was your like loop guy and so taking that 38 over him would have been cool. But yeah, Lomax, I saw a few people in the top ranks with him. Jackie Williams, a really nice year. Hey, just want to shout out him for how good he's gone. Almost a 50 average for someone that we knew had a lot of potential, right? Yeah, what was he touted? The next Paul Gallen at Sharks, and we're all excited from a fantasy perspective. And he
Mm.
just yeah, 50 minutes for like a 31 and just dirty scores like that. So good on him there. We've got Arrow and Gray. Some of that try save from Gray was pretty spectacular. And
And
then
then yeah, my boy Hopgood.
there he
Get
is.
more
What
minutes, mate.
and Cody Walker off the bench, 46 and 49. That was
Mm.
impressive. But yeah, Hopgood got the line break too early, so just a lower sort of base stat game to play 55 for 29 minutes. He's definitely on my radar, and I think that yeah, last week was great to see that he has that big score in him. I think for yeah, if around that 560 mark, he's probably still the best, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think he's still a good option. And again, that duel, I think there's still, and I've avoided issues the last couple of weeks. I know you haven't with Garrett going down and Ford going down, etc. So just having these guys that in the last week you might be able to move around and say, "Oh, I've actually got an extra edge here that I didn't think was a problem, but I've lost two edges now and I don't have another one," or however it might be. If you did have a Haas and Carrigan and they both got rested, there's a bit of extra mid coverage. So I think that could be, if we have a bit more carnage in the last few weeks and the last round especially, having dual position guys could be really useful just to be able to fill all the gaps.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I went down that route a couple of weeks ago and looking at guys like, all right, let's just replace Herbie with Furmore and just sort of covering bases and having those dual position guys. And that was the theory with Ford as well, was just having
Mhm.
the mid edge. And I can see why you're thinking about that, given the last few weeks you've had to cover mid each and every one of them. So that coverage is on your mind. And if you haven't had to deal with that, guys, just be aware of that over that last few weeks as well. Although, how much is it going to matter? Hey, like if we're hoping to get sort of 16, 17 on the park, do you think it's going to matter positionally as much, or probably just
I
depends
mean,
how the teams
it's
rest?
yeah, and well, like I said, like for me specifically, not having an edge on my bench because what you don't want is to go into the last week and you've got 18, 19 guys, but you've got one edge.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. So you might have plenty of guys,
Mm.
but you can't fill an actual 17 because you don't have the um yeah, you don't have the positional coverage. So if you've got, I mean, it's one of these again, it's all team dependent. Like that was I went down that route because I didn't have an edge on the bench. Like I had Furmore and centers and I could move around and play around with. But again, even if if I have two edges go down in 1 week, which could definitely happen, I'm screwed. So
Yes, for
it
more
just
than one week.
one of
Yeah.
these things that might not make a difference, but like if you're happy enough, it's not like you would go, "Oh, I really want this guy, but I'll buy Hopgood just because he's dual position."
Mm.
But if it's that little, little factor in the decision making of I'm happy getting Hopgood, plus he also gives me this additional
Mm. Yeah.
advantage in coverage, then yeah.
Yeah, he helped both for you this week and the next few, so that's good. Walshy, how good's he been since what? That was the first 7 rounds or something. He was bang awful, and since then he's probably hit a 50, just over 50 average, I think, too.
Yeah, I mean hardly anybody. Well, I think the people that wanted to get him all got him after round whatever it was, 7 or 8 when he was so cheap, and then he got injured, and then I
That's
think
right.
that just scared everybody off. So I don't know how many people are kind of jumping on at this stage, but yeah,
Mm.
this shows what he can do. This was why people were jumping on earlier. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's got the 20s in him, but like he can be spectacular when things fall for him.
Mate, the biggest thing I've noticed with him is the increase in pace in the run meters the last month or so. And yeah, with the goals, it's going to be great to add that. But he's regularly been in the 150 plus on the run meters, which is why he's been that rocks and diamonds guy. He's more in like the 80s and 90s, the Latrell style without the crazy offloads and TBs that he just gets, in his own 20-meter line kind of thing. So yeah, I see him as being a very interesting play to finish out the year. And as we said with the Knights next week, who looked really, really bad today, it could be a similar type goals type of scoreline. And
Yeah.
if he only got one try assist, it wasn't anything ridiculous for what we would expect. You expect this to be a 2 or 3 try and 3 try assist kind of thing to get 94, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you just see what Drinky, I mean, there's no reason why Walsh couldn't do what Drinky did today.
Yeah.
Like they were I mean, quite similar in that they kicking goals, they kick the ball in general play, and
Mm.
yeah, like there's no reason
Left
this can't
footers.
be. Yeah, same guy, just the same guy.
Yeah. Look exactly the same. Same hair,
Mhm.
same age, same income, same super contribution. Payne Haas, the GOAT. So good. Just such good viewing,
Yeah.
hey. What's it? What? Oh, is it going to be like 80% him, 20% Cleary next week? What do you reckon?
It feels like who are the Panthers playing
They
next
got a
week?
pretty tough little run, I think, but
Although with Cleary, sometimes that can help. Like we saw his score this week against the
yeah, it
Storm.
didn't matter.
Because again, I mean, like between Clark, I mean Hassan's
Oh,
what there's
Raiders,
five
that'll be fun.
points. Yeah, like 5 points in it between the two, and
Yeah,
um, yeah, like sometimes those games where Cleary knows right, I have to take all this on myself are the games that he goes big in. But yeah, I think Hass will be the consensus captain this week after this, and yeah, playing up against the Knights. Unless it's one of those where they run over them so bad he doesn't get the minutes. But yeah, no, I
Mm.
think
Yeah,
it's
that's probably a small part of it, but they were pretty short in their forward stocks without Willison. Hey, so we'll
yeah,
see
I
how
think
it
he's rock solid for next week.
yeah, and even that like it's if it's less minutes, it's probably 55 or something,
Mm.
which yeah shouldn't change it too much. Shout out to Stags as well. I feel like he's had a pretty solid season, especially the last few months. Marshall King, he's actually throwing up some decent scores, similar to Sammy Verrills. Just keeps lobbing out those mid 50s type scores with some type of attacking stat each week. But we know that Jeremy can do that. There's just so many other great hooker picks like Connor Watson, right?
Oh yeah, like why would you have him when you can get a guy guaranteeing you 19 points?
Just pick Ben Hunt at 470k. Hey, yeah,
That's it. You can't complain with that at 450.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. Shibasaki, we just winding back the clock again. 10 tackle breaks. I think what they're saying he's on about 75k this year.
80K, something like that. Yeah,
80k
he'll
and
be show me the money
Bears,
next year.
Bears boy,
Well,
maybe.
that's could be. So that would be was it 27?
Yeah, another year and
Should
then
start
that.
27, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah.
God, it was good to see Trey
All
Fuller
right.
back.
I was just gonna
Oh,
say I when as all I could think of when I saw him scoring that was wow, Jamie will be Jamie will be cheering that one.
I wish he
Because
wasn't so expensive. I'd buy him next week, eh? Because I
mm,
definitely think they'll keep this team. They're just too short. And he brought so much to this squad, didn't he?
yeah, he's just a
He's a star.
absolute live wire. And yeah, like next year is this going to be a like the permanent solution? Like does Hammer play center permanently if he's fit firing next year?
That's hard too, like, because, yeah, Herbie will be good. And then, like, I think Avrilo's actually played really well the last few months too.
Mm.
So
And
does
Hammer is
Liga the
like he's
wing?
not yeah, he's
You got
Hammer
Bosco.
has played well at fullback for them as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they come
It's
up
similar
with.
to, there's similarities to the Titans thing. Hey, it must be
Mm.
something up there with those two teams where they just have so many good fullbacks and centers and halves and whatever else. So yeah, hopefully he gets a spot. I don't know, they did re-sign him, I think, didn't they, for a few years before he got injured too. So they'll have to work it out somehow. Kurt Donahue, really lovely try assist. I was happy with that. He just had to cop the lot with Haas all night, so 6 missed tackles probably not too bad. Yeah, I'll take that after
Got
the low one the week before.
yeah, he got the 80 minutes, which more important than anything, I guess. Like
Yeah.
you didn't want to see him if you got another rest, another 60 minutes, you might be a
Mm.
bit worried for the rest of the year, but yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, thankfully it was the two sin bins the week before. Hey, once everyone mentioned
Mm.
that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
yeah, he was the non-rested guy. So that was good. Very much take that score. And then Carrigan's 53. Again, you take it. It's nothing crazy, but yeah, solid 61 minutes. There will be games that he'll have to go that little bit more, but yeah, I think just the running side of it's been great for him. Like he's running and getting tackle breaks because the base stats there aren't crazy. Definitely did the job. ICAT, this is a sad one since I've bought him anyway. It just hasn't looked the same. Hardly running the footy, and the team has gone downhill as well. So
Mm.
yeah, definitely don't. I wouldn't be looking to pick him at all for the remainder of the season. Just the price point, but I think that yeah, you've got Munster back at 6, even if it is for a few weeks, it would be worth it more. Even looking at spending less and fixing up one of your mid-range guys and getting a Hunt or a Wishy probably sounds better, right, than him at the moment.
Mm. Yeah, I think the Dolphins have kind of, if not hit the wall, very close to it. Like they've been running on fumes in terms of the amount of injuries they had, and I think Herbie and that has just been the last kind of straw. It's
Felt like it.
pushed them into yeah, they're just probably going to slide out the rest of the year. And yeah, just don't have those attacking weapons that you had
And they played
a
well
few
in this
months
game
ago.
too. That's the sad thing.
Hmm.
Like he had
Yeah.
20, 25, 26 or something at halftime, and they were right in it. Then it just that second half of well, they were up by like three tries, weren't they? And then just Broncos just every 2 minutes were scoring another one. So it was good viewing, but not for not for ICAP.
Not for Dolphins.
No, not for Dolphins fans. Then Lamb still got 50 minutes for 21. It's rough. That's probably it on that one. Keely getting the low minutes now as well. All right, what else do we got? But not all the rest. One, two, three. Last one.
Sharkies.
Last one. Oh, I thought Harodi was incredible.
Mm.
Incredible. They just have so many good outside backs, eh? It's wild. Like Talakai comes
Yeah,
in and just
when
crushes. And then Iro when he
Heroes,
returns.
yeah, next year.
Katoa and Mulatalo, 74 bangers each. Like Hines to get fourth top score. Tough going. Tough
Yeah.
going. Um, yeah, just a great game for him. Got the turnover tackle, so we got all the things we wanted. Campbell just pulled that out of his butt, didn't he? He was he looked disinterested all game. Hey, like Foreign was killing it, and Campbell's just chilling, and he still loves a 60. That's when you know you're on a good fantasy player.
Yeah, I mean that's why, he was people were talking about him being the best wing fullback probably all year, just because
Yeah,
he'll have these games where it doesn't really do much and bangs out 50, 60s. And he's had a few lower ones thrown in there
yeah,
over the year, but yeah, like he's just a fantasy weapon.
so good, so good. Mofot, I was talking about him in the private crew the other week. Mitch
Mhm.
keeps
There
messaging
you
me
go.
saying I should buy him. I should have,
Well,
should have.
yeah, there you
Good
go.
game.
57. Outscored Carrigan and these guys. Yeah,
Looking
can't
to
complain.
looking to crab run is what I noticed on the weekend. Clearly,
Mhm.
six tackle breaks, four
Oh, maybe
offloads.
they sent
Yeah. Then Verrills, yeah, 54 tackles and a try assist. He's had a good little period. I think there's a few people that were looking at buying him and did so. Brayley just really pulled it out as well. He was on about 25 with 20 minutes or so and got a few good runs and that try assist. So he's just really added to his game and shout to him, 770K. That's crazy. But another fun one to finish the year, guys, is Tino. 53 minutes for him, 48 points in this one. Worked hard as well. Was happy that the minutes were up, I suppose, for anyone who did hold as well. So he'll lob into that Hopgood range this week as a potential buy and shouldn't rest for the remainder of the year, right? Like who would you pick, him or Hopgood?
Well, they were. I mean, I picked Hopgood this week. I don't necessarily think I changed. I mean, I was a bit wary of bringing Tino in
Yeah,
first week back.
that
Just
made sense.
you not don't know what we're going to get out of him. And this week, I mean, look, in 3 games, it's really hard to like you can't tell. 3 games is such a small
Yeah,
sample size that
bit of a punt.
either of those guys can bang out an 80 without like if things fall for them, if they score a try, then
Yeah,
and
injury,
and
30
that'll
minutes.
yeah,
Mm.
and that'll blow them through. So, 3 games at this point, it's a real shot in the dark with a lot of guys. You go, yeah, they've got big upside. I'm going to take a shot, and you see how it falls.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it can go all over the shop. Like Jolliffe
Mm.
has been an awesome pick, and then he just
Mm.
got the 43 minutes straight. He was doing really well and just didn't come back on. With them
Yep.
getting beat pretty bad. So, he's played 70
Mhm.
minutes last week and different things like that. So, yeah, it's so hit and miss.
Yeah.
Ford for his 21 into the 64 and did it easy, kind of, even with heaps of negatives. So, it's yeah, that 3 weeks, and the rank changes in 3 weeks is week to week is crazy too.
Yeah.
Bowie, 43
Bimmer.
for him. Played what,
Oh,
50 odd minutes?
somebody's ringing. Somebody's ringing my doorbell. I'm sure that's not for me. Nobody
I,
rings my doorbell. I'll just ignore
I could hardly, I don't even know if I could hear it. So that's pretty good
it.
headphones for you. But yeah, Bowie,
Yeah,
nothing
former.
too
Well,
spectacular. Don't
when he was
buy.
on negative 10 or something after 5 minutes, whatever crazy score he was on, where he just missed a million tackles and
It was net
the
five in 12 minutes or something, and I was I
yeah,
was
it's
having
just
a great time in emergency eight. Yeah, in EMG eight, and then got that try, and he pulled it out. To be fair, like played half the game at center and moved back to the edge, and then yeah, and then Garrick did his thing today. So, mate, 43, no injury. What Mitch was saying, that's exactly what you want. Great score. Anything over
Yeah,
40, no complaints.
def- definitely. This stage of the year,
That's why Turbo, it's just like,
Mr.
oh, he got 40, it's fine.
Perfect. No complaint. Yeah.
This
Then
one
you've
was
got a
annoying for
Fanua
Randall.
Blake. Oh, yeah. Randall and Fanua Blake just
Vanilla
under him as
Blake.
well. That's,
And
yeah.
McInnes. Oh,
And
sad for
McInnes is
McInnes.
injured. Yeah. That's
And
it.
then
And they've got
Keeney,
the bye next week. So, hey, he's back.
he's back. He had a couple of good runs there, but
Mm.
down the wing was
Okay.
weird.
Yeah, just give him a couple of fours to finish the year, and then we can all buy him
Oh,
next year.
true. True. Is he going to be bench or is they going to start him? Interesting, interesting. Yeah, Fanua Blake into the bye next week. I think some people might sell, but it could just be a good looping week and probably needs the rest as well, I think. And they'll be fighting for a spot, so I don't see any resting in the last 2 weeks. Think you just have to hold, right?
Yeah, and with McInnes out as well, you would
True.
think he gets more, more
Closer
minutes or a
games.
bigger role. So yeah, it's like I mean, I've been holding Tapani. He's another one where you're not jumping for joy over it and the way
Mm.
that they're scoring, but at this stage, I don't unless you're really short next week, like you can't put a team out next week and you
Yeah,
need to get somebody, then that's fine. But if you can cover it next week, then yeah, unless and or if you've got a million trades left. But if you're sitting with one or two, like most people are, yeah, I think you just have to hold and hope he does well the last couple of weeks.
yeah. Could be a little question between him and Yo. Like if they're both out next week, probably sell AFB over Yo. Like expecting Isaiah to come back the following. Yeah, probably just more upside. But yeah, even like Tarpanay this week. Actually
Mm.
thinking about it, don't mind the matchup against Panthers. Hey, like he's gonna
Mm.
have to play some decent minutes, and they'll want to
Should be
try
a
and lock
lot.
up one or two
Yeah, there
top spot.
should be a lot of traffic kind of going through the middle there.
Hopefully, hopefully. But yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. That is the 5 games, Nikki's team, and trades. Good to see you in the top five, K-mates, and hopefully with a couple of trades
Let's
left,
keep.
you should be able to push into the fours, into the threes, sorry, and then maybe even the twos in 3 weeks. What do you reckon? Chance?
Who knows that this is the Bradbury finish where everybody above me has all the injuries and all of the outs and they can't field teams and I just
Here we go.
sneak up on the outside into something more something of a more reasonable finish.
Exactly. And then you'll win it next year, and then
And then I'll win it
we'll
next year,
forget about
hopefully.
this year.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Hmm. Learning experience. That's what it's all about.
That's all right. All right, cheers, legends. We'll catch you in the next one.